بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. مشاهدينا الكرام أينما كنتم، أهلا وسهلا بكم في ثالث أيام هذا الملتقى العالمي للخيول العربية الأصيلة في نسخته 13 وهو تحت مظلة مهرجان سيدي سمو الشيخ منصور بن زايد في نسخته 15. ودائما في هذا الوقت بالتحديد من العام يكون نهاية مهرجان، نهاية نسخة وبداية نسخة مع الشوط الرئيسي طبعا الشوط العالمي.
Tom is standing by. We're about to go live. Do take your seats.
طبعا لمسافة 2200 كيلومتر عفوا مشاهدينا الكرام. أغلى أشواط الخيول العربية الأصيلة، واحدة من أغلى أشواط الخيول العربية الأصيلة. جوائزها طبعا مشاهدينا الكرام 5 مليون درهم إماراتي. اليوم واليوم الثاني بالنسبة للجلسات والندوات الخاصة بهذا الملتقى. شهدنا الجلسة الأولى مشاهدينا الكرام التحديات الخاصة بسباقات الخيول العربية الأصيلة. الآن الموعد مع الجلسة الثانية لهذا اليوم الثاني من الجلسات. الجلسة الثانية بعنوان المرأة وسباقات الخيول العربية الأصيلة. نذهب سريعا إلى الإعلامي مشاهدينا الكرام لبداية هذه الجلسة مع الإعلامي ديريك تومسون.
Mansoor, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching around the world, welcome to the Dusit Thani Hotel here in the heart of Abu Dhabi. Our next session is incredible. It's going to be incredible because it's women in racing. Now, I've flown in from the United Kingdom on Emirates, which is the best airline in the world, and last week I was presenting at Chelmsford City Racecourse when a lady jockey called Hayley Turner rode her 1,000th winner. It was absolutely incredible, and she became the first lady in the United Kingdom, indeed in the world, to ride 1,000 winners. Ladies do so much, not just as horsemen, women, but behind the scenes, the way they ride horses, the way they train. And there's a very special lady who runs the Sheikh Mansoor Festival, and she's on stage now to present Women in Racing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Laura Sawaya.
Thank you, Tomo. First of all, thanks for staying for the Women in Session. The Women in Racing is a very important session in the World Arabian Horse Racing Forum because behind every single success, there's always a woman behind. So can we give a big applause for all the ladies in the world? And I can see that all the men are outside still having lunch. So I would ask all the promotion girls to bring every single person inside the hall to give credit to these lovely ladies that came all the way to have a beautiful sessions with everyone. So may Olga, Malak, and Alexandra bring every single person from outside inside the hall in the ballroom to assist and hear the most beautiful ladies what they have to tell you about their experiences in the racing field. Dr. Mike Doike.
Direct, yes.
You're from Belgium.
I'm from Belgium, yeah.
And recently, 1 month ago, you've been awarded a special award.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you tell us more about it?
I've been awarded a knightship in the order of King Leopold I of Belgium due to all the work I've been doing here in the UAE as a woman and to kind of liaise with Europe and with the other countries as a leading lady from the UAE and making. Thank you.
Congratulations, because it's a great award to take.
Yes, it is.
And a big responsibility for yourself.
Yes, for the moment there's only 400 people alive from the whole of Belgium who have this award. So we're with, I think, 11 million by now, so that's it's quite original and quite unique. So I was really happy and really honored that they gave that to me.
At the same time, Dr. Mike runs the Sharjah Equine Hospital.
Yes.
She's the lady behind the success of Sharjah Equine Hospital because she's on the board member. She's also a board member of the Equine Club.
Yes, I'm one of the only actually non-Emirati female ladies who is a board member in Sharjah. Yeah, so, yeah.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Our second beautiful speaker today. She runs a beautiful racetrack, the Saudi Cup. Saudi Cup, Emer. Emer is from Ireland, and she's the director of international racing in Saudi Cup, in Arabia. Tell us more about you, Emer.
So I started off in horses at a very young age, riding ponies, and studied equine science in university. I worked in every aspect of it, really, from being a work rider to yearling and full prep for the sales, then going into administration, working on the regulatory side for the Turf Club in Ireland, worked in France, UK, UAE, racing secretary for Godolphin for a good number of years before arriving back in the Middle East with a jockey club in Saudi Arabia.
Very nice.
Yeah.
A big applause for her. Our famous speaker, Deb Mihalov, the greatest Kriran owner in the United States and first class owner.
Yes, thank you.
Who's gonna run in the Jewel Crown, who was the winner of Jewel Crown 2022.
Yes, he was.
So tell us more about you, Deb.
Well, I was very fortunate because my grandmother bred and raised Arabian horses, so I was immediately bitten by the Arabian horse bug. And when my father was an insurance agent, I decided that I needed to combine those two things. So I went ahead and went to Lloyd's of London and developed an equine insurance program for Arabian horses specifically, and classifying them. At that time, they were miscellaneous breeds, and they now have their own distinction, their own rating, and that was about 40 years ago. It developed into the second largest equine insurance program in the world, and that allowed me to travel all over the world and see breeding farms for the last 40 years, which has enabled me to be able to have the breeding program that I have. I'm very fortunate and very blessed.
Thank you, Deb.
Thank you.
Annalisa Landosci from Italy. She started with Anika, and she was the first who in 2015 in Poland during Sheikh Mansoor bin Zayed Racing Festival and the World Arabian Horse Racing Forum back in 2015 in Warsaw. She made the Anika and Italy part of IFAR. So tell us more about you, Annalisa.
Je m'excuse, mais je
Tu peux
préfère
parler en français.
parler français, même parce que
You'll allow me to talk in French. And you reminded me of wonderful days for me. I'm very emotional because for a very long time I tried to get Italy a member of IFAR, and nobody had been able to do that. Even Jean-Pierre de Gastet had called me at the time in order to get Italy in there, but it was difficult because the ministry manages our races, and at the time the influence was not very strong with them. I started with your help when you promised to support me. I left everything behind. I left my family, and I came for one day to Warsaw, and you told me that I have to stay. I stayed, I think, 3 days upon your insistence, and when I went back home, nobody believed that I was able to achieve that, because the Sheikh Mansour Festival
to be part of IFAR and pushed Annalisa to work harder and insist on having Anika part of the IFAR. So can we give a big applause for Annalisa?
to you.
A beautiful lady in the world of training, Georgina Ward. Tell us more about you. especially that you had a great experience also in Qatar last year and the previous years.
Yes, the Middle East has been very kind to me. I've worked in Qatar, Oman and Dubai. And I didn't come from a racing background, I came from a very working class background. So the Arabian horses have taken me to some incredible places. I've had some wonderful horses and met some wonderful people. I'm very grateful to be here.
So what do you have to tell us more about your experience that when you were in Qatar or before in Dubai? What did you really do in the industry of racing?
I trained for Sheikh Thani, and I was fortunate enough to work with Al Shami Estate, which had some magnificent horses, and we did extremely well. We had a good team, and Hani Mastrik was my manager, and we took some of the best horses, to Europe. I did manage to win the Emir's Sword, which was one of my highlights. The derbies, the Qatar derbies, and just worked with some really good animals. Then I came back a couple of years ago and trained again. So, yeah.
Thank you, Georgina. Can we applaud for her? From the world of racing, a beautiful lady, Kathy O'Meara. She is the head of officials in the British Horse Racing Authority. Tell us more about you, Kathy.
Thank you, Lara. Firstly, I would like to thank you for the invitation and obviously for the Sheikh Mansoor Festival for having us here and having this forum, which has been really grateful to be a part of. In terms of me, obviously I'm not British. You guys have probably gathered. I did start in the US, very similar to Yamar. They were just started from the bottom up, really. Work road for quite some time. Did a little bit of training. Had some friends. We have a very small ownership with a few horses. But I think to step back a little bit from just the racing side, because obviously we're here to appreciate the Arabian racing and Arabian breed. I actually, as a child, began with show horses, and so we had quite a few Arabians that we used to ride and show, so I really love the breed, and obviously watching it through the years and obviously seeing with the racing product and things and how it's evolved and just, the importance of it has been really good. So,
thank you, Kathy. Can we applaud for her? And now with Dr. Mike. Tell us how you started, Doctor.
From the very beginning?
From the beginning when you, I think you came here before in Dubai, and then you started with coming back to Sharjah. You've been there for 20 years. So
yes.
Tell us more about yourself.
So when I graduated, I worked at the university in Belgium, University of Ghent, for 3 years as an assistant professor. And during that time, I came here to Dubai. There was a conference, and I gave a presentation about respiratory distress in foals. Then after these 3 years, I worked for 6 years in a small private hospital, only horses as well, where I actually did mainly internal medicine and anesthesia, but I also, because the person, when I joined, the person who was leaving, he was also collecting semen and freezing semen, so they asked me if I would be able to do that or would be interested. So being young, I said, of course, yeah, no problem. So I started that, and actually that is the reason why I then was hired in Sharjah. After a couple of years, as you all know, it's as a woman, especially being a horse vet, it's not easy to combine your family life and your professional life, especially not when you are very passionate about your professional life. And hence why we have the highest rate of divorce and the highest rate of suicide, unfortunately, in our profession in the world. And it was getting, for me, quite difficult. I got pregnant for my daughter, and it became really difficult to combine the job, which I've been doing 24 hours in a row, And I wanted to be a good mom and a good wife at the same time, which was, but a good vet as well, because I invested so much in becoming who I was. I went to study in the States, I went to study in New Bolton, in South Africa. So I got all these opportunities from my parents, and then at a certain point you face the problem like, I want to do my profession, and I want to do it well because I'm passionate about it, but I also want to be a good mom and I want to be a good wife as well. I don't want to end up in a divorce. I don't want to end up being a mom which didn't do her job right. And it became very difficult for me to combine the both. So at a certain point, I treated a horse from Qatar in the hospital I was working with, and that person said they are building a hospital in Sharjah, and they're actually looking for people to work there. And I thought, I came here before, and I said to my husband, I said, maybe that would be the solution for us. I can still do my profession, and I can still do both. And so we came here actually to Sharjah for a week, and we with a baby, a newborn baby, and we looked at all the schools, everything what was there like 20 years ago. And then on the plane back, we both decided this is what we're going to do. We're going to give everything up. And luckily, I have a very sweet and very nice husband who is actually a physio, and he had his own physio practice. He was actually in first-class football, a physio. So we sold everything. He gave everything up, and he followed me to come here. And then this is our story, actually. So then I started to work as a vet. They actually hired me because they were looking for someone. Sharjah at that point was the first center who had the certificate to freeze semen and to export and import semen. So they were looking for someone to do that. And since I also could do internal medicine and everything, and anesthesia at the same time, this is why they said, okay, you can give it a go. So I got hired. I worked for 3 years as one of the team. We were with 5 at that moment. And after 3 years, they asked me to do the management of the hospital. So that has been now 17 years ago. And in the meantime, we're almost with 100 people working in the hospital.
MashaAllah.
So it went quick, it went fast. But yet again, it's not my success story. It's the story of a team, and it's definitely a success story of my bosses, His Highness, the ruler of Sharjah, and Sheikh Abdullah and Mr. Sultan. We are actually the board of governors, and we actually we organize the hospital. And they actually gave me the opportunity to do both. I could work as much as I could and as much as I wanted, and be a good vet and be a passionate vet, but at the same time they also gave me the opportunity to raise my daughter, to be a good wife. I hope I'm a good wife. But anyway, that was actually the biggest reason why we've been here for 20 years, because it just works. It just works. We live next to the hospital. If there's an emergency, I have to go out of the house and I'm in the hospital. So yeah, this is my story.
Thank you, doctor.
No problem.
Amer. I'm sure you had so many challenges, especially a woman in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
When did you take the decision to work as head of the racing industry, the head of international racing in Saudi?
So I had worked in the Middle East before. I'd worked in UAE for 8 years, between there and the UK, and full-time for 3 years. So I wasn't unfamiliar with the region. But Saudi is slightly different, and it's at a different stage of its development, and it's a different stage of development in its jurisdiction, racing jurisdiction. I had left the Middle East. I'd gone back to Ireland, and this is where actually I had 6 months out of racing into equine veterinary diagnostics, which is where I met Dr. Mika. And this opportunity came up with Saudi Cup when it was launched in 2019. So opportunity came up to take the role there as racing liaison, so primarily working on Saudi Cup itself, liaising with the international owners, trainers, etc., coming in with horses. and the role developed out from there. So this is going into our 5th Saudi Cup. So it's changed a good bit since that. So that brought me back to Saudi, or back to the Middle East and back to Saudi. And it's a very exciting time to be there. It's a country that's changing. The racing side of it is moving at a rate of knots. We've got a very fruitful breeding industry there. The raven racing, the thoroughbred racing, etc. There's a lot of horses being imported throughout the year. And the Saudi Cup has brought the domestic racing along with it. So we've now got a very good 2-day meeting in February. And my role now has changed to primarily recruiting horses for Saudi Cup and getting our horses, the Saudi-based horses, to go and compete abroad. A lot of people do ask me, how do you find working in Saudi as a woman? But actually, if you can do the job and you can prove you can do the job well in Saudi, you get your opportunities and you get a seat at the table. And Prince Bandar, our chairman, is very much like that. He doesn't distinguish between men, women. If you can do the role, you get the opportunity to do it.
There's a balanced gender.
Very much so. And within the club now, you can see, I would say maybe 30%, 40% are women. So that's on the administration side. I think you met Amal Faisal last year. She'd got her apprentice license since then. She's studying at the moment and still riding.
Yes, she's in Egypt right now, and she has an exam.
Yeah.
That's why she's not with us, Amal Faisal, but we're very happy that a young lady like Amal now is a professional jockey.
Yes, yeah. That was huge for the country.
Yes, and for a Saudi girl, this is, I think she need, if we can applaud for Amal Faisal, because she's also studying in Egypt, and she had an exam. That's why she was going to be one of our panelists also. But today, I think she has her exam.
Yeah.
And we wish her all the best. Deb, knowing you for many years, you've always been a determined lady. Tell us more about the challenges that you faced during the periods when you started really focusing more on breeding and on racing side, especially that you had winners also in Santa Anita Park when it was the big race of Her Highness Sheikha Fatma bint Mubarak Cup.
Yes.
That was a big race in Santa Anita.
Yes, this is awesome one, that
Yes,
race.
correct.
Set the track record.
Yes, correct. And you
Start
have
to
also
finish.
Lynn Ashby with you, so you are two ladies.
Odds were 99-1. We did good. That was a fabulous day, Laura. Thank you. And I do want to say...
I can see Jonathan smiling from there.
I really want to say thank you to you and to the Sheikh Mansour Festival. To be sitting up here with these ladies, and I hear these stories and I'm saying, geez, why am I here? But I really want to thank you, because what this has done is it opens it all up. When we are here, we're able to meet other people and share things. When we go to some of the other entities, we don't quite have the camaraderie that we do here. And I think it is such a wonderful learning experience for all of us. For me in particular, I learned something with each of these panels and I've been around for a long time, and I really think that it's advantageous for all of us to take these in and make the most of them and share it with other people and get them all involved, because it really is an education.
Thanks, Deb. Annalisa,
Dis-moi.
you take care of Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Racing Festival races for many years now. Tell us about your challenges in racing, because we know also that you're a breeder and you're owner of racing.
Yeah.
Tu veux que je te parle en français?
J'ai compris ce que tu m'as...
Okay, tu peux...
I understood your question. I'm not from a family of breeders, because all my family were in the military, and I'm the one who started in Morocco when I was young. I learned to ride in Dar es Salaam, and I used to ride Al Amina horses who was still alive, and I was still young, and I jumped obstacles, and then I went home, and horses are always in our hearts, as is the case for everybody else. And I just wanted to go back riding, and I used to ride on trips when we were traveling for a week. And then my husband had a small breeding program, and he was the first that had introduced Arabian horses in Italy. And my husband knew all the genealogies, at least in Europe and from Syria in Italy. So you give him the name of a horse, and he'll give you all the genetic tree of that horse going back many generations. So this is how I learned about the Arab world, the Arabian horse, and I rode Arabian horses, but I think that the challenge was to race with Arabian horses. In Italy, they started in 1985 to organize Arabian horses races. I started in 2002. I'm still in the field. In Rome also I won the Sheikh Fatima race with Giulia Corcia, and it was a big challenge because we have a lot of trainers, male trainers. I don't train, I use male trainers. However, even if you're in Italy, you know that now we have, for the first time, a female prime minister. So it's a first, and it's still a surprise until now. I don't want to talk about politics, but she's the first female prime minister. So what I'm trying to say is that I was using breeders, trainers, and I buy horses from males. I changed a lot of trainers, and we never found the right feeling. So they were focused on hours of work, but they weren't really passionate about the horse. So as an owner, you never win. It's always the trainer that wins or the jockey.
Beautiful princess. Tell us more about the challenges. I'm sure you had a lot of challenges last year.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about the challenges that you faced?
Yeah, I think I started out as an independent trainer, and that was challenging because I didn't have a backer. I had to do everything myself. At the time, I had 2 young daughters. I decided to go back to university and study equine sports science. So there was not a lot of time or finance, and it was hard work. But I think the hard work and the determination and the passion for the Arabian, don't ask me where that came from, but I've always had it. And I decided when I'd finished my degree that I would put some of the things I'd learned into the Arabian horse. So my first Crabbit, I didn't have any fancy French blood, I just had ordinary Crabbit horses, and I did all these experiments on them to see how I could get them to improve. And we've started winning some good races, and people said, where's she come from? And then I was fortunate enough for somebody to take me to France, and we bought a couple of horses, and they did very well. And this was my first experience with the French breds.
Yes.
Yeah. Brought them back, again, won a Derby trial and got beaten in the Derby by Sheikh Hamdan. But then from that, he bought the horse, and that allowed me to go back to France and buy my first 3-year-old, or 2-year-old as he was, and my first experience of training a young horse. And he was just, I got lucky. He was something special. So we went on, and I think I was the first independent British trainer to win the Arab Derby.
Well done.
And from that...
Which year was it?
I think 2005.
You won the Arabian Derby?
Yes, yeah. And it was quite a tough race because...
Do you remember the horse?
Yes, Arsène Lupin.
Sorry?
Arsène Lupin,
okay.
bred by Jean-Claude Di Francesco.
Okay.
It was a tough race because they came from, Satish Seema came,
Yeah.
The French came, Van der Vos came. They were good, it was a good competitive race, but we were lucky and we won. But from that was sort of a stepping stone then into people asking me to train for them. And then I kindly got the invite to go to Al Shahania.
Bravo.
And then we went, and then it just turned into a different thing. But yeah, so it all started from experimenting with little crabbit horses.
Thank you, Georgina. Kathy. Kathy is working in a men's world on the ground. Mostly you're head of officials. And working for the BHA is not an easy job. So tell us more, what were your challenges and how do you, if you see things that are not correct, how you implement your ideas to make them change their minds? Sorry.
Very carefully would be the right way. No, I think there's a few challenges. I started, as I mentioned, obviously from the U.S. and through the racing, the thoroughbred world there, through the U.S. Jockey Club, worked on quite a few of the IFHA committees and things, and so got a great opportunity to meet loads of people all around the world. And so when the opportunity came to apply for the job at the BHA, it was a bit daunting. I mean, I was obviously American, never actually been to England before, but I will say that it was obviously being, accepting of the job and coming in, there was a lot of open arms coming in, which was great. But I think with all racing jurisdictions, there's always those challenges, and especially from the regulator standpoint, you're trying to juggle the challenges between ensuring that the participants have what they need, that you also are trying to make sure that the industry is flourishing, but then equally, as back to the operations side, which is a passion of mine, you're trying to ensure that those teams that are working with you can make sure that we are regulating fairly, safely, for obviously the welfare and safety of our participants, both equine and human athletes. So I think when you're coming in, obviously I think I'm older, but somewhat younger in the demographic of age, but then equally predominantly men are on my team. I've got about 125 race day officials that work across Britain, and the majority of them are men, but they really have been very welcoming and open to my ideas and thoughts. I would say it's probably more of a stigma of being American than it is female, which is a bit of an interesting dynamic that I get in the UK. I think it's all about collaboration. You've got to be a good listener. It's important to take on board what people have to say, understand their experiences, and then yes, there's sometimes going to be decisions that have to be made that aren't, agreeable to everyone or aren't the ways that people want to progress. But it's being able to then explain those decisions, why we're doing that, what is the benefits to the industry as a whole, looking at things holistically, because I think we do a lot of times look in silos, very much so. What does this mean to me right at this moment, as opposed to what does it mean in the bigger scheme of the industry? How can we benefit everyone in the industry moving that forward? So I think you just have to balance that out and work through it. But I'd say, on the whole, it's been a good experience. But there's always challenges with it, and just kick on with it. So
This is for the first time in the Sheikh Mansoor Festival or in any Arabian races worldwide. We have the BHA concern. So can we have a big applause for BHA? Because France Gallo, we always see them, but BHA, we never met them. And this was a big challenge for us to have you with us. And thank you for attending the World Arabian Horse Racing Forum and being a woman. And I think your big boss, the CEO, is a woman.
yes.
She's a great lady also, so it's nice to see that racing in the UK is being run really with women behind the racing. So a big applause for women in racing. Doctor, is it a special day for you?
It's my birthday.
Can we have a big applause and sing her happy birthday? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. See, you will never forget your birthday, Doctor. Because now all the world is celebrating with you your birthday, and it's a special day today.
Thank you.
So, as a woman that started in Sharjah at that time, maybe they were a little bit strict. So how did you act when things like you coming from Belgium and with the diplomacy of how to being yourself, to integrate and them to put you on a great position. What were your thoughts when you really started and you wanted to prove to everybody that you are there and this is Dr. Mike there, and whatever you have learned, you want to input in your work?
In all honesty, the first 6 months I was here, I hated every single moment of it. I'm not going to lie, I cried every night. I missed my family. I found it difficult to adapt because this was a hospital that wasn't established yet, and I came from two very established hospitals, like the university and even the private practice. And it was actually my husband every day who said, you can do this. If there's one woman who can do this, you can do this. And actually, I never felt that I had to impose myself or to say, I'm here and you need to respect me. I don't think that works. I think respect comes both ways. And I think I hope that that's the reason. And I think only by working hard and by showing how passionate you are about your job, that people start respecting you, and then people start, I never had the feeling that as a woman I was less, definitely not, or that I had to work harder compared to the men. I always had the feeling that my voice was heard. I always had the feeling from the beginning that thanks to my lovely bosses, I had something to say. Of course, there are times that you confront yourself and that you say, I wish this would be different and whatsoever. But I have a boss who's
very attached to chocolates, and especially Belgian chocolates. So when I want something and I put the chocolates on there, he already knows, like, something's coming, Mickey, what do you want? So, but anyway, I really never felt like I had to impose myself, or I had to show people, like, I'm here, I can do this job, I want to show it to you. I think I just worked hard every day, and I also knew my place. I know I don't have to go bunching if there's a meeting in a majlis with a man. I don't do that, because in the end, I'm a foreigner, and I respect the traditions. I respect what they, how things are going here. And I think that is the biggest issue that the world is facing now, is in all other countries. As long as you respect where you are and you respect the traditions and the customs from the people you work with, I don't think you need to impose yourself. I think you just work hard, and you show them you're passionate, and you show them you're willing to, to work and to go forward and to make something out of this. Then I think the pieces started to form itself, and the puzzle just fitted. And I think that I never had the feeling really that I had to, like, I'm here, you need to listen to me. No, never, ever, no.
Thank you, Doctor.
No problem.
Amer, during Saudi Cup, you faced lots of challenges, and especially badges. Amer, we want badges. Amer, we want to go to the paddock. So tell us more about it. How do you cope with this? Because I'm sure it's lots of pressure. So many people expect things from you. And, I don't take it from Amer, I'll take it from somewhere else. And then tell us more about it.
So Saudi Cup started in 2020, and the challenge we faced then and the challenges we face now, some are the same, such as badges, and some are not. The main pressure is now at this time of year is getting the right fields together. So you want quality fields of horses to run in those 16 races, 17 now in next February. So that takes a lot of work over the summer, and the off-season internationally for us is recruiting runners. And then trying to get people, they say yes at the time, they say yes when they enter, and then but to get that horse on a plane and get it to us and get it into a starting gate is another story. It's very competitive out there now. So that's that set of pressures, and then you're getting into the operations now of it, and you're building towards February, and again, we're in a country that hasn't held these huge events until recent years. So you've got the travel, which everyone has found challenging over the years. What your example you mentioned there of badges is universal, from Breeders' Cup to ARC to Dubai World Cup. Yeah, well, good to know. I'll tell you now, our parade ring has expanded. We'll have a bigger capacity in February, so it should be less of a problem. But yeah, of course, it's very stressful. I have to say, it's nearly killed me at times.
It's another Amer there.
Yeah, it really has. And those type of challenges will probably never go away. But as we come into the fifth one, things are settling down, but we're still going to keep adding to it. We're still going to keep building, so you're going to bring in more challenges as we go. But for how I react to the stress from the first year to this year is very different. You have to, because you won't get through it, and you won't get through the year. So you learn to cope.
Yes.
You do what you can. You put the phone down for an hour, or you go off and go to the gym, or you go for a walk around the track, because otherwise you won't make it. And that's not just in my job, that's in everyone's job.
Yeah, true.
Life nowadays is not easy.
But you've done always a good job.
Thank you.
Deb.
Yes.
You handled first class very well.
Well, thank you.
You leased first class.
Yes.
And you were dealing with maybe a young men with different perceptions.
Yes.
And you had your own goals for the horse.
And challenges.
Yes. Can you tell us more how you coped with it?
Well, I am classifying myself now going into a new chapter in my life, and that's the international chapter. We have always been very successful and blessed in the United States, but as the racing started to diminish in the United States, it was very hard to really be successful once you have already achieved everything that you can win in that country. And so it only made sense for us to start an international program. And so I leased first class, and we have just, that was a 3-year lease, and now I am running the horse under our name again. It was a big decision for me because my husband's health, and it's nice when somebody else manages the horse and takes care of it. I have, as of recent, been under the stress of my last partner, I'm sure, in getting the horse moved from one place to another. He had been in France and he came here. There are quarantine restrictions, not to mention other things that you have to deal with, the registrations through the various countries. I did not realize that there was so much involved from a licensing standpoint to get this horse where he's at. Quite frankly, before I left, my farm manager said, Deb, you know, if he doesn't get in, if he doesn't really get to race, be prepared. And part of that is because the horse is registered under Cree-Run, and we are licensed here as Deborah Mahaloff and Alan Kirshner, and you need to make sure that you take care of all your paperwork so that everything is done properly. And I had no idea of that intense process that trainers and managers of racehorses go through when you take on an international venue. This horse went to Saudi, he went to Abu Dhabi, he went to Dubai, and he went to France, he went to England. All of that logistically for this horse, I mean, my gosh, we were asking an awful lot from him. And when the 3 years had come up, I decided that it was time that we go ahead and bring the horse back into our colors. I believe that a 3-year lease is able to, your first year when you lease a horse, they're not making money usually. Your second year, your horse is going to start making money for that partnership. And in the 3rd year, you hope that you have made it a very profitable business deal for both parties. In my particular case, it was. I have been very blessed that this horse was able to accomplish what he accomplished, both for my partner and for Cree-Run. We are very fortunate that he's in this race, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm not expecting this horse to win this race. We have asked him to come here from France, not on the quarantine 10-day. This horse is probably now going to be on his down side of this timing, but the horse is in good spirits, he looks great, and all I can say is, and I have prayed every single night that I've made the right decisions with changing trainers, changing jockeys, changing ownership, and changing direction of this horse. It was a big undertaking for me and a very stressful one. But I had the support of my husband and my family and friends, and they gave me a lot of advice, and they have, and I hope I've listened to them correctly.
And we wish you all the best on the Jewel Crown, so that he can, he has to compete with the best horses.
He is.
But I'm sure he is one of the best horses, that's why he's in the Jewel Crown.
Yes, we're honored. Thank you.
Thank you for you. Annalisa. Knowing you and also now facing the main fields in Italy, most of ANICA and the horse racing authorities there are men. So tell us more during races, and you want to put your idea and implement it in order to find a good racetrack and to cope with it. What were your main challenges on the ground with the others?
Tu m'as fait une question très...
You asked me an easy question, Lara. I'm sure that you can answer. So you can tell us how you implemented your ideas. You did well implementing your ideas because your ideas were great this year. You have clarified a few things. You also had to make a few sacrifices, but how did you find yourself, Annalisa, reacting to the implementation of your ideas? As you said, it was difficult. Not only because I'm a woman, I'm sure it's a factor, but also because I was there. And I had probably irritated someone, or maybe I was there for too long. They tried to set me aside and to see if things were better that way. I'm not saying I'm the best, of course, but other people did not prove that they were better than me. So I remained, I stepped aside. Regarding the sponsors, I should say that in Italy, we have sponsors. We recently have sponsors. Even British thoroughbreds didn't have sponsors. So today, only Arabian horses have sponsors in Italy, and I am the first one who brought the sponsors. Yes, you are a pioneer in this field, and to keep the sponsors is really not easy. Of course. But I think that they wanted to try and see if they could keep the sponsors and even have more sponsors without me. So I stayed aside. I didn't do anything. I remained with the Sheikh Mansoor Festival because you explicitly asked me so. Yes, because you're the best in Italy. I have proven that I'm probably the best in Italy, yes. Today we have 60 races. Yes, you have really developed races in Italy, and I think that Italy did great this year. It was extremely difficult, of course, but it was a great performance. When I was alone, I had what we call carte blanche. I could do whatever I wanted. At some point, they didn't want to trust me, but then they saw that I was making profit. It wasn't only a matter of profit, it was also the prestige of having a sponsor like the Sheikh Mansoor Festival, who came from Abu Dhabi and who was present everywhere in the world but in Italy. So everybody called me telling me, can you bring your sponsor? So I couldn't do it for everybody, so I picked the best tracks, and I only stayed in the tracks that trusted me. You did well.
What were your difficulties in implementing an idea when you were in Qatar, for example, with Shahaniya, and you really believed in something, but they did not believe in what you were saying, what we were thinking?
To be fair to the racing industry, I don't think they give women too bad a time. It's a fairly level playing field, but you have to be good at what you do. I think looking back at Al-Shahaniya, I came in with some different ideas to the majority of trainers. I was prepared to look at interval training in quite a serious way, and applying that to a lot of horses can be difficult because it's time consuming, and you just have to get people to be patient, and that's the most difficult thing with owners, just getting them to trust what you're going to plan for the horses and giving you some time. If you can get that, you get a good owner with patience. That's incredibly important. Fortunately, my things worked and worked quite well, and we had some good success with all types of horses, the fillies, the short distance, the sprints, the long distance. But it takes time, and I'm a little bit feisty, or I was back then, so I didn't take prisoners too well, which was, Honey kept me in some sort of order.
Yeah, I can see Honey is laughing.
But apart from that, apart from me having my Yorkshire wobbles, we did quite well.
Thank you, Georgie. Kathy, what do you think of Arabian racing?
So first off, I would say from just actually coming here, it's been immensely welcoming. And so the community, the networking that I've been able to make over these last couple days, and I'm looking forward to in the next few days, going out to the courses themselves and some of the farms, I'm really looking forward to, because everyone here has been very welcoming, and so I would like to thank everyone in that regard, because I did have a bit of apprehensions. I'm not going to lie about that. This is my first time in the Middle East, and I've been very pleasantly surprised, and so that's been very, I think, representative of everyone here, who's shown me that open door and been able to open up to that. I think from the racing itself, I think it's really important that, I think there's a bit of a misconception where people want to try to lump it all together, and lump, be it thoroughbreds, be it Arabian, be it quarter horses, be it, harness racing, whatever it is, and try to just lump racing and together. I think in general we're all a family. I think we can all relate to each other from all different types of racing codes and disciplines, but equally I think it's vitally important to respect the nuances and the differences of each racing product that we have, and showcase those differences in a very positive way, because it's not just this, it's not just let's put them all together and here it is. No, let's really appreciate those nuances and differences, and it's one of the things I'm really looking forward to, spending some time at the courses and seeing that this weekend.
And we're so happy that you are here, and especially Abu Dhabi is your second home also. We welcome you in Abu Dhabi, the capital.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We have some interesting ladies in the audience, and we would like to share with them, because they are in racing also. Being Jenny Haynes, for example. Can we give Jenny a mic, please? Jenny, you thought a lot to have the voice heard in BHA. What would you address Kathy as a question? From the Arrow, who's the umbrella of Arabian racing, and now with your new company, with the new company that has brought Arrow, and you're a great company that owns racetracks, and they are in good relationships also themselves with BHA. So what would you address Kathy today?
Thank you, Lara. And firstly, it's been, as these forums I've been here for, probably all of the forums bar one, I think. So you keep hearing me year in, year out saying we're not integrated, we're not. professional trainers can't train Arabians. That has changed over the last couple of years. So to Kathy and the BHA, we are integrating more. We've still got a long way to go, but I think the relationship now has improved. Certainly Kathy is going to be our point of contact moving forward at the BHA. I think that's a great improvement. We have someone that will, and coming here now, will understand what we're about. It has been a challenge. I've been doing this for like over 20 years, so it has been a long challenge, but we've progressed more professionally now, as you all know, but for us to now have Arena Racing Company ARC, actually acquired Arrow recently, so that has given us a stability, the financial stability to prove to everyone that we are here for the long haul, and now with their backing and their support, and obviously that they do own 16 racecourses, which makes our job a lot easier. We're not going to the racecourses to say, can we have an Arabian race? Mark will be here on Saturday, Mark Spencer, the general manager of ARC. He will be here on Saturday to actually meet everyone, but now they want to embrace it more, they actually believe in it. So I think that relationship, they already have a relationship with the BHA, obviously owning 16 racecourses, etc. So and it's great to be part of that. So for Kathy and the BHA, I think it's amazing that they've actually come, you know, and want to be a part of it, and I think that's a major step forward.
But what would you address a question to Kathy? You still are running out of the you're not asking her the question. You ask others, but you're not asking her directly. What would come to your mind to ask Kathy today? She's here, and she is a great support now to
what we need next.
Arrow. Yeah. So ask her. She's in front of you.
Okay, what we need is our trainers being licensed by the British Horse Racing Authority. It's quite an easy question to ask Kathy because she already knows my question. Yeah. But it's also to be more integrated, and with that means the trainers, and it means the racing going onto your racing admin system of Racing Digital. So that's exactly, and then that will be thoroughbred trainers. It will just be one process that will be.
Definitely. Yeah, and I'll pick up from that because I think that is crucial. You know, when I first came in, I came into the BHA just about right under 4 years ago, and we did have some silos. You know, we have our thoroughbred, we have the Arabian, we have our pony, we have, you know, point to point. It was very siloed, and we are bringing all of those things together. And I think that the Racing Digital product is going to hopefully enhance that. You know, the back end digital side of it is all the same. You know, you're still going to do the race entries the same. You're still going to do, you know, all the regulation and everything the same. It's just a matter of, you know, is it in the thoroughbred category? Is it in the Arabian category? Is it in the pony racing category? So there's really no reason for it not to be joined up in a single source, make it easier for the participants to be able to be engaged with the product, having the, you know, the results posted. You know, all of those kinds of things are not difficult to achieve. It's just making sure that it is integrated, and so that everyone can see the benefits of all the different types of codes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
We have a lovely young lady from the United Arab Emirates, Shuruk Al-Hashimi. Tell us a little bit why you're in Arabian racing. What happened that you are coming from? But I'll speak in Arabic so you can put. شو اللي أنت بلشت
ترجمة. So you have started in a world that is different than Arabian horse racing. You started in the art industry, correct? And you've been like in the academy, like as an academia, and then you started to enter the Arabian horse racing. What came to your mind to decide or to be in love with the horse racing? Because now you are in Arcana in the sales, so what happened? Please tell us more. Actually, when you want me to speak in English or in Arabic? Arabic, as you want. So, horse industry represents me and actually represents everything that happened in my life. Okay, so to tell you my story,
I have studied international relations. This is the highest thing to reach the field of equestrian. As I Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid. He's the greatest international example. How did he start? The thoroughbred in Dubai, which is disseminated internationally until America. This is one. I started something that would represent my study, which I like, away from the wars. There is something peaceful, which is the horse. This is one. Second, my work was in the research. If you see what happens to the horses, especially when it comes to production, it's all about research. It's all about research, even if you are searching about horses. What is more beautiful than horses? I am an artist, and I would say the latest collection that I did, it's all about horses, even the horses themselves. I call it as a power of manifestation. So I am showcasing it in Georgia, hopefully. What is the Karakor de Loop? It is known, and she is pregnant, and hopefully you will see wonders of the world. Thank you. Beverly.
Can you stand up, please? Mario, non, Marie-Ange, après, c'est une question. Je viens chez toi, je viens. Grande question. Ok, parfait. Non, ça c'est pas des questions. On est en train de...
We are trying here to ask them questions. Beverly.
You've been in racing also.
And you've been in Arabian racing for many years. What were your challenges? And if you would like anything to ask any of the panelists, you're free to ask.
Yes,
but we would like to know more about you as owner of horses and trainer. And I'm sure you faced lots of challenges in your life.
Lots of challenges. So I first started in Arabian racing. I bought an Arab horse at an auction in UK, and I decided to race it. And I was an owner, trainer, and jockey. I was a pretty rubbish jockey, actually, but I did manage to win my first race, and I got totally hooked from there. And then I came to the Middle East. First went to Oman. I got offered a job there. So first lady, I think, to train in Oman, pretty much in the middle of the desert. So that was a real challenge. We had just camel vets. There were really no equine vets. That was probably about 10, 12 years ago. And then I spent a few seasons in Dubai and back to the UK in the summer. So that was the challenge of having the 2 yards, working in the summer in the UK, and then having people looking after your horses when you weren't there. That was really difficult.
Thank you, Beverly. Do you need any question from the panelists?
I think I'm good. I think somebody else might have a...
Yes, I think Marie-Ange has something to say. Marie-Ange.
Enfin. Finally. When I see women like this who have fought, first of all, I love them all because I know them individually. I know the courage of Deborah. I am happy when she wins because I know the difficulties she went through for Annalisa and Georgina. I know you very well. But now I want to go back to you because you are the start, Lara. When you started, we met at the beginnings. I came to Abu Dhabi and I met you. And I asked you, what are you doing here? And we were able to speak. And I thought you wouldn't do much because she's in a world of men. And while talking, you said, we're going to take care of jockeys, we'll do this and that. And I was thinking it's impossible. And when I went back to France, I was talking to people and they used to say, no way, it's not going to happen. These are male jockeys. We won't have female jockeys. But with you, gradually, you organize this festival. And I know the courage it took to achieve what you did, and I know that everybody here respects and loves you because you pushed forward the Arabian horses with your boss, Sheikh Mansoor, and I love him dearly. Together you were able to push forward the Arabian horses, and this pushed Arabian horses worldwide. Without you, obviously, we would have advanced, but slowly. We would have progressed slowly. However, thanks to your perseverance, you're a woman, you're single, you don't have children, you dedicated your life for us, for what you created. You created the Arabian horse. I really want to thank you. Thank you, Marie-Ange.
I will speak Arabic and finish, but if you can put it, it's easier in Arabic.
Today, the success of what Marie-Ange is talking about, because we have a very big school that we've led. It is the school of Sheikh Fatima bint Mubarak, the mother of the nation, the mother of the world, the mother of the UAE, everyone who loves to work well and to reach, to have ambition. Sheikh Fatima bint Mubarak has taught us a lot, and she is the main reason behind our support. So I think that the inspiration that she gives every woman would inspire her to have further dedication and success. Thank you, Mother Fatma. And of course, we cannot forget the unlimited support from His Highness Sheikh Mansoor bin Zayed, who has given us all the support for the Festival of Sheikh Mansoor, for the Board of Directors of the Festival of Sheikh Mansoor, His Excellency Al-Marar Al-Falahi Khalil Dababni, and every person who is with us today. So you are here at this event to salute the role of women. Women are mothers, are the family, are the main thing that would allow every one of us to hold the family together. She is the mother and the father, but she is the mother who works hard, similar to the fact when you say that 70% is for the horse and 30% the man. The huge role goes back to the balance, which is there in the UAE. Thank you for Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, the President of the UAE, and thank you for Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, Deputy President, and Mansoor bin Zayed, and all the rulers and sheikhs of the UAE, because they are the main reason behind this balance between men and women alike. Especially all the thanks from all of us for Sheikha Manal bint Mohammed bin Rashid. She is the head of balance in the UAE, the Council of Balance. So there's no difference between men and women. Today we are in a panel. Your presence here as young people who support us and hear us. You have the best ladies here present on the panel today, and everyone has a position better than the other. They've all been through experiences, whether in Saudi, whether in the UAE, whether in America, Italy, or England, any country, in France. We have as well the same. Thank you as men. السلام عليكم. هبة الرحبي
owner of horses and trainer in the Sultanate of Oman. Thank you, Ms. Lara, and thank you for all the organizers of the Forum, World Arabian Horse Racing Forum, Sheikh Mansoor bin Zayed. I'm very honored to see women as owners and trainers. My question here for Ms. Deborah. So it's very sensitive, the question for men. Do you accept orders from men if you have a certain system in training, and perhaps one of the men has given you an advice or directives? Would you be able to change your directives as a result? This is one. Second, analyst, if I have something to say about the horse Amina. How old is she? Did you get the question?
Yes, to you.
And I believe you were asking, with my decisions that I've made, whether men were influencing that or whether it was female. It was
no. If you got somebody like you have your own ideas, and would you accept to take it with granted from any masculine man to give you their own opinion? How would you react?
Yes,
this
yes.
is, I think, her question.
Yeah, okay. Yes, to answer your question, the biggest person in my life has been my husband, who has guided me. So yes, I do listen to him, but that does not mean that I do what he tells me. Okay? I don't know if that answers it, but there were many women that I did discuss my decisions with, and a couple men, but they were almost all women, because I felt that they had the knowledge. This industry has a lot of women in it that have a lot of experience, and all you have to do is ask them, and they're more than willing to give you their opinion. And then you figure out what is going to be best for your situation. In my particular case, I realize this horse is now going to be 7 years old. If someone, a horse at that age he may not be able to be as competitive, and so I felt that that was my responsibility, and that's one of the reasons why I do 3-year leases, because I do feel that at some point the horse has to stop racing, and if you have made a profit for your partnership, then you should let the horse go on to its next life, be it endurance in my case, is where a lot of my race horses go, ex-race horses, or pleasure homes. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. And Annalisa, about Amina, she wants to know how old is she?
I refer to the sister of the roi Hassan II du Maroc. Donc c'était la tante de...
She was the aunt of the current king, Mohammed VI. She's the sister of the king of Morocco.
Sorry, huh? Okay, there's another lady we would like to, if you can give the mic to Khulud. Khulud, you are a woman in the feed, national feed. Can you stand up, please? Khulud al-Nuaimi, you've been working with everybody. راح اسال بالانجليزي.
انجليزي عربي شو
اوكي. لا البقيه يقدروا يتاقلموا معك. اوكي. You have your اليوم انت امراه بعالم التغذيه الناشونال فيد بكل التغذيه. اليوم كل العالم
all men are, all the world is men around you, and I can see definitely how you have determination. Tell us about your experience with National Field. Of course, you have a special experience. Tell us about that. My name is Khulud al-Nuaimi. I am the business development director at the national company, and I consider the only woman at the level of the country in the field of media. I am now 6 years with them. As for the sector, industrial sector, I represent the industrial sector as an Emirati woman present in the industrial sector, because we do not have a woman role active in the industries and the factories in the country. As for my beginning with them, it was very difficult. There was a lack of understanding and a lack of acceptance and adaptation. There's an Emirati woman entering into this field, and it is very difficult as part of the things that I needed to give it as my role to really go out of the place that I was in. I would go to rural areas, deal with customers, go to the ministries, see their problems. I would understand what they want and what the Emirati breeder would want, and those who are in the country. For me, it was filled with challenges, but definitely there was great support from everyone, from people who are responsible, from managers, administratives, and they tried as much as possible to support me, and they've done a great job, and I hope that I was up to the task and I have done my job perfectly. And at the moment, I've been 5 years with the Festival of Sheikh Mansoor as a strategic partner, and this partnership has had great revenues and allowed us to understand and be part in the field of feed for the horses, allowed us to develop the things that we used to produce. We used to produce 2 kinds of things for the horses. Now we have 12 kinds for endurance, for promptness, for the beauty of the horses, for galloping, and there is a national product at the moment which is there for horses. I'm honored to have you here amongst us, and you are for us the guests of the UAE. Your presence here, and it is an honor, and I'm very proud to see all of you, all your achievements. Thank you.
Jonathan.
I would be interested in hearing an answer from each of the panelists. If there is a woman in racing that preceded you that you particularly admired, that you felt was a pioneer, that had a big influence on your development.
Your idol, you mean?
Your idol, yeah. No, or fairly early in my
broadcasting. Yes, I'm sure there's always an idol.
Oh, of course. And yeah, I interviewed Penny Chenery, and that stuck with me. So is there someone kind of like that stuck with you, that inspired you to be on the path that you've been on?
So we'll start with Kathy.
You know, it sounds kind of bad, but I'm trying to think in terms of, I think just in general, there's been a lot of women along the way, so it'd be hard to pick, you know, one individual or anything. I think just coming in from just having a work ethic, I think obviously my family instilled that into me, and so I had 2 moms. I had my mom and my stepmother, who were very passionate, very determined, and both fully worked. And my mother was in the racing industry, and the show industry, and my stepmother was actually in the corporate world. So it actually was kind of a nice bridge to both, that I could kind of get that background. But then once I got into racing, there really are too many to count in terms of the influences and such. So sorry, a non-answer, but I hope that's okay.
Thanks, Kathy. Georgina.
Yeah, I think we all stand on the shoulders of who's gone before. And racing, if I had to pick a racing person, I think it'd be Jenny Pittman, because she was a national hunt trainer.
She was your idol?
Well, yeah, I have a great respect, because she was on her own, and she won the Grand National. you know, these are big feats. These are big races to win in what is a very male-dominated sport, the national hunt. So she was one, and then I think my mother, she was tough. She had a real, quite hard existence, but she never gave up, and she told us, you know, work hard and don't give in, don't suffer fools lightly, be respectful of people, and try your best. And when things get tough, don't give up, because that's the mark of somebody. Just keep going when everything's tough.
Thank you, Georgie. Annalisa, any idol?
No.
No, not really. I was thinking while the panelists were answering, but as I said, is there one person that you admire that pushed you forward? Yes, I understand the question, and that's what I was saying. You are the one who pushed me forward and helped me. For me, you are this person I admire. I'm serious, and you know it. As Marie-Ange has said, you are the one who pushed us forward. And even people who saw us in other forum in Europe, they asked us, what are you doing? It's a waste of time. It's not going to last. Is it true, Marie-Ange? And yet we are still here, and the world knows that we are still here with women. There are men I admire, and everybody knows that. I also admire my enemies, but for me, you are the one I look up to. Thank you, Annalisa. Deb?
Like Georgina, my mother was very much an inspiration for me, and she was very supportive, and we folded out our first mare together in a sleeping bag, looking through the cracks of the barn when we were up in the hayloft. And ever since then, my mother was a big inspiration for me, and a supporter of my insurance program as well as my breeding program. The person besides my mother that probably really pushed me into racing was Louise Cortellis. She was the one from Town and Country. They had Vikings.
What did she do before?
Well, Louise and Alec Cortellis were very large breeders in the United States at one time. They used to handle all of Sheikh Mohammed's Arabian horses down in Ocala, Florida. And they were really, besides Dr. Sam Harrison, the inspiration for Arabian racing in our country. And it was Louise and Alec who really promoted it and got the show world to start thinking about racing. And so I would have to say she was the one who really guided Alan and I into racing. Even though my passion had always been racing, I really did not know that I would end up having a breeding program focusing totally on racing. And I think I came to that conclusion in just learning the culling practices of various stud farms around the world. And so that I really tried to focus on that. But Louise was very instrumental in getting us into racing overall.
Thank you. Emmer?
Well, growing up, I suppose my family were very much in national hunt racing, so similar to Georgina. There was Jessica Harrington and Jenny Pittman. They were very, very strong. And at that age, it didn't occur to me that you couldn't be a trainer if you're a woman or a jockey. And nowadays, there's probably a lot more examples of that. And probably the most recent one, and one that has transcended the sport of racing, and her quote, I think, will remain forever, and that's Jenna Antonucci. She won the Belmont Stakes with her horse Arcangelo, and in her interview after, which she obviously hadn't prepared, but she was so articulate with what she said, and she said, never give up. If you can't get a seat at the table, make your own table. I thought that was such a good quote. Yeah, so she is currently my idol.
Thank you. Dr. Mike?
Well, from the whole panel, I think I'm the least related to races, so I don't really have an idol in racing. When it comes to veterinary female vets, of course, there's a lot of female vets, important vets, and much cleverer and much better than I out there that I always admired. To name a few, Sudais and Siri Amar. There's a lot of people out there that I admire. An idol I never had, really. I do know that I looked up to a lot of people while I was studying, while I was practicing, and I always tried to take the best of everyone. And I thought, oh, that's something that I need to remember. That's something that I want to do as well. The person I want to be. And there's, of course, always, my grandmother always used to tell me, like, Mike, when you work somewhere, you always need to do as if it is your own company, as if it is never work just for a boss. Just make it your own. Make it as if, you know, put your stamp on it. And that's something that I always remembered, and I try to do as well. So,
thank you, Doctor.
No problem.
Before we close, I would like to have Val Bunting, please. Val has been there with Wahoo, with racing, with breeding. Val,
Laura,
do you have anything to say? Because you are a woman in this field, and you have a high voice also. So tell us anything about you. What would you like today to have more in racing as a woman?
As a woman, I think it's going very, very well for all of us at the moment, but we've had to fight for it desperately. I started as a trainer in a man's world in Qatar. I came from the UK first, but there was lots of women training there, and including Georgina. And I went to Qatar, and I was the only woman trainer. But that was fine. I really, really liked it, and I was really respected, and I respected my boss, Sheikh Abdullah, who bred Dahis. And then now I'm very much into breeding. That is my passion, is breeding.
Yes.
Very much so. And with my brood mares for my life, and looking for good stallions to put with them.
And you have Al-Ghadir also with Nujaifi.
Yeah, Al-Ghadir.
The champ, Al-Ghadir.
Yeah, he followed on from Al-Shamus.
Yes, of course, Al-Shamus also.
Yeah. So we've been lucky.
Alhamdulillah. I want you to give the word also for Hani, please. Hani.
Oh, God.
It's been a long time we didn't hear your voice, Hani. And now you're leading a great stud farm in Qatar. Before. Okay, tell us, Hani, you've been always in Arabian racing, you've been always a support. Tell us, what would you see women in racing along in the future, and present and future, and in the past?
Okay, first of all, you know, I have to say that Qatar has given women the best opportunities ever. I've never felt like because you're a woman, you're less, you need to listen to the men. So Qatar has always been very good to us. Yeah, as a manager of a stud farm, you have to work with a lot of men that don't always think you're capable of doing so, but thank God we proved them all wrong. I don't know what to tell you, to be honest. I mean, it's all, as a stud manager, you know, it's trying to get the best people in the correct places, which is very hard to do. We have managed that. I mean, like, yeah, Al-Shani, a stud has grown into a very famous stud, and Al-Naif stud also was doing very well. Tell me.
Thank you, honey. Who's your idol, honey?
Sorry, beg your pardon?
Who's your idol?
My idol?
Yes.
Is Sami Jassim Al-Borneen.
Nice, Sammy. Okay. Any more questions or, okay, Pam. One last question. It's okay, the TV will give us more 5 minutes. We are the women in racing, so they need Basil will not cut the live stream live because we're definitely live streaming also on the Sheikh Mansour Festival YouTube. So if anybody wants to go back, we're everywhere. We've recorded, and all the sessions you will see them on Facebook and on the Festival of Sheikh Mansour at MBZ Racing Festival. Yes, Pam.
Yes. Lara, you are a great inspiration to many of us. My question is, who is your idol?
My idol first is my mother. She is the one who inspires me every day. And my best idol is Her Highness Sheikha Fatma bint Mubarak, who gives me always the best inspiration in the world, seeing how every single person loves her in the world because she has done a lot to us. Thank you, Sheikha Fatma bint Mubarak. Thanks, Pam. And who's your idol? Mike, please. Who's your idol, Pam?
I think the example of my father, who was a West Point military officer, and he was just kind and correct and showed us how to do things. I don't remember any other real discipline in that area, but he and my mother were a strong support. So the fact that showed a good unity, I think that was the joint union was the best of my recollection, my idol.
Thanks, Pam.
Thank you.
And now, Tomo. Do you have anything to tell us?
I just wanted to say that was absolutely outstanding. Can we give them a big round of applause? That was brilliant.
Thank you, Tomo. So now what would you like to do? I think you have something to do.
We have something to do.
Before we give the
to
trophy.
present everybody with a trophy to remember this marvelous. Would you all stand up and come and receive your trophy? And that was absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. Well done. So here we go. Well done. Hello, it is so good. Yes, she is going to present to you because you've done it. Yes, to you. Well done. Come on, yeah, we'll start this end. Hold on, let's start, and we'll start with Kathy O'Mara. Well done, Kath. Congratulations. Thank you. The next one is Georgina Ward, who comes from Yorkshire. Lass. Lovely. From Italy, Annalisa. Well done, Annalisa. Brilliant lady. The one and only American lady. Deborah, well done. Absolutely superb. Emma is next. Well done. Emma Fallon. Ireland. And Dr. Mieta Miska from the UAE, but worked so hard. And that was lovely what you were saying. And the girl who I thought did a pretty good job. What do you think? Laura Sawaya. Can we all come to the front to have a photo? with women in racing session in the background, send these pictures around the world, and they come from Abu Dhabi in the UAE. Ladies, thank you. Thank you all. We've got a 15-minute break, and then we're going to have our final session. And before the start of the final session, we will have the grand draw. So we'll see you here in 15 minutes. And I wonder who's going to be winning the incredible prize. We'll do it live. If you're here, you can win. If you're not here, you won't win. See you in 15.
قبل لحظات من الآن انتهت هذه الجلسة الخاصة بالمرأة وسباقات الخيول العربية الأصيلة. ساعة ونصف مشاهدينا الكرام شهدنا فيها حديث كثيرة ونقاط كثيرة طبعا أدارتها المدير التنفيذي لمهرجان سمو الشيخ منصور بن زايد النهائي العالمي للخيول العربية الأصيلة مع لارا. معي في هذه اللحظات طبعا
We have these moments, the founder and the head of the board of directors, Mr. Bruno Divot, who is the head of board of directors, Bruno.
Yas channel, tell us first about Choose France and brief us about Choose France, and we have a lot to discuss and to talk about this, about Choose France.
Yes, France is an innovative country, and we want to share this innovative feeling, spirit abroad, especially within the equestrian facilities and equestrian industry. And we started this business for Proximal Company. I'm the founder of Proximal Company since 2018, 5 years ago, and we started to be here in this area, starting with Dubai International Horse Fair in 2019. And then we saw very interesting opportunities to share these innovative solutions. And these solutions is lighting solution dedicated to infrastructures, facilities, in order to improve performances of horses, safety, and then to improve the welfare of our passionate animal with the horses.
Good, you're talking about the horses, and what I know about this partnership between Choose France and His Highness Sheikh Mansoor bin Zayed Al Nahyan festival. This festival, one of the greatest festivals all over the world, supports Arabian horse racing, not only in UAE, all over the world, and it has a big, a lot of people who are participating in it. Talk to me about this partnership.
Yes, this partnership belongs to the idea with Business France, who is a leading institution in France to help companies, French company, to export their skills and their innovation abroad. And then this partnership is very great opportunity for us. We are part of 10 over industries, companies as innovative companies for the horse industry. So this partnership is key for our development in this area, and we want, and I'm sure that it will be a success for us, developing partnership with local breeders here, local partnership, which is very important for our development and for this country too.
Since 2018 and now we are 2023, so it's 5 years now of achievements. How satisfied you are as a founder and CEO, and what is the coming, inshallah, and we wish you all the best.
Yeah, so far we have already made some installation around 70 customers and top customers. We are focusing on the business-to-business market. and we have great installations within France, in Europe, and we want to introduce these solutions also here because we know that local professionals here are the greatest horses within the world, and I think that it's worth proposing our solutions to be better and more. That's the idea for our partnership, and to start also and to grow the business, our business within this area.
I was very happy having you on air. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. Wish you best of luck in Choose France, and especially in this partnership. Best of luck, sir.
Thank you very much for your welcome. Thanks.
And I also have the Ustadha Maya. أيضا أستاذة مايا غشام. Maya, it's nice to have you on Yas channel. Hi Maya. I was talking to Mr. Bruno, the co-founder and the CEO and the founder of Choose France. You tell me first about Choose France, and then we'll talk about this lovely partnership with the festival of Marjan. اسمه Sheikh Mansoor bin Zayed.
Sure. So Business France is the trade commission of the French embassy, and we are the government agency that support French company abroad. So we are here. We are incredibly proud to be here and to be part of this fantastic event. And I want to extend my thanks to Sheikh Mansoor Festival team and Lara Sawaya for giving us this fantastic opportunity to highlight the French expertise within the horse industry.
Talk to me about the partnership, and as Mr. Bruno told me, you started 2018, now 5 years of great work, and we are happy seeing you here in Abu Dhabi.
Yes, so this is the second edition. We had the first one during Expo 2020 in Dubai, and we have today with us 10 French companies, a delegation of 10 French companies within a wide range of expertise, like we have equipment, we have health, and we have food as well. And we are more than keen on connecting them with key local players, and we want to bridge meaningful connection with the key local player here in the GCC area.
We are very happy being here, you and Mr. Bruno and Choose France. Wish you best of luck. Nice to have you. And I'm sure that you guys are around and you will have enjoying going to Al Ain, and then you'll go to the endurance. So we'll meet during these nice events.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. مشاهدينا الكرام، طبعا وصلنا لختام تغطيتنا الآن. تغطيتنا مستمرة بعد أقل من نصف ساعة من الآن. سوف تكون هناك مشاهدينا الكرام تغطية خاصة أيضا بالجلسة الأخيرة في هذا الملتقى. الجلسة الأخيرة عنوانها طبعا عنوانها وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي في نشر سباقات الفروسية. حتى ذلك الحين تقبلوا تحياتي وإلى اللقاء.